Saturday morning, and I'm on my way to seeing my grandson. It's just something about knowing I'm going to see him, when I'm seeing him, when I'm with him. It's indescribable. I can't believe the feeling of love you can have for an individual. Now I'm going through. Daddy's working today, and so he's going to see the chiropractor. His second visit to the chiropractor. Apparently it helps a lot for wind and posture and all sorts of things. I was looking through his book the other day. His little, when you're born nowadays, the parents get a little book from the clinic about what they can eat, when they should have solids, when's the good time for them to eat solids. And I couldn't help but see that their first solids should be porridge, and it should be rice or maize based. The mere fact that wheat has been completely omitted from what the porridge should be tells me that we shouldn't be eating wheat, or wheat is not really good for humans. So yeah, another little one up for the gluten-free society, gluten-free movement, and keto free and all that type of thing. Yes. Yeah, so I'm off to see my little grandson, Rada. Pepe can't wait to see him. Can't wait to help out. If ever they need some assistance, daddy or mommy or whatever, I'm here. Carol's here. We all here to help. Claire's here. Who knows? We'll just pitch in and be there for them. And it's been a difficult week this week. As many of you know, I'm a sales manager at a company, and we sell our product through agents in South Africa. What we call the distribution channel. So we deal largely and mainly through distribution, and we're on a little bit of a drive to grow our footprint in the market, as all companies are. And it's not something new. It's been ongoing, and the last 7 years I've been telling all my existing distributors that there's pressure. There's always pressure to grow ourselves at the expense of the competitor, and that activity is really that determines the success of an organization. And if the organization is a sales generating organization, I suppose all organizations, all companies exist through sales. I mean, we're all selling a product, and we found some very good new reseller showing lots of promise. Guys putting a lot of effort in, spending a lot of money, reducing his margins to benefit himself and us, but it's coming at a cost, obviously. And there is a little bit of, I would say, a little bit of animosity in the market amongst our own distributors, because the old existing distributors are a little bit upset about the new kid on the block. And unfortunately, I have never hidden from any of my distributors, the best and the worst, that there's pressure on us to grow. And some of our existing distributors have grown tremendously. I mean, one guy in particular, our number one distributor, has grown by more than 300% in the last 7 years. So he's made huge strides helping us grow our footprint in South Africa. And unfortunately, he's the only one. None of our other distributors have shown any growth whatsoever, any organic growth. There's been some growth, but obviously there's price realizations, there's price increases, things go up. Most of them have grown sort of, they haven't grown, they've just stayed stagnant. Sales may have grown, but percentage-wise to our total sales, they have not grown. And so there's been some pressure on us to grow our distribution base, and that's what we're busy trying to do now. We're trying to grow our distribution base, firstly with existing distributors to grow their sales, and secondly, if that growth doesn't match the organization's targets, we need to look for new distributors. And in the pursuit of new distributors, it's not that easy, because we sell a consumable, and there are people out there that are prepared to sell multi-brand products, and there are some that aren't prepared to sell multi-brand. And it's a difficult one, because the guys who tend to be prepared to sell multi-brand tend to use their second and third brands as a stopgap when they have issues with their primary supplier. So we're trying to build relationships with distributors where we become their primary supplier, and they use us, in the large majority of their sales and marketing activities. But there comes a time at some point where we have to go looking for more, because there's the old saying, if we continue doing what we've always done and expect different results, it's the first sign of madness. It's just not going to happen. We need to start changing the way our product is marketed, and the way our product is perceived in the market. And it's difficult, because there is a lot of brands out there that the consumer, the market, the consumer can decide on. And in the end, I believe it's the supplier and the people representing the supplier who add the most value at the customers that win 9 times out of 10. And yes, often price is a big factor, but for me, the industry I'm in, I believe 100% it's got nothing to do with price and everything to do with cost. And in the end, guys only selling on price and not advocating the other values that the product generates for the user, for the customer, they're missing a trick. If all you do is allow the market to use price as the stick to keep you in check, then you really need to start looking at what sort of value you're adding as a supplier. In my experience, I've had people buying from me and not looking at the price, only looking at the value I add to the organization. And we have to be disciplined enough as sales reps. We need to be disciplined enough to be honest with the customer and lay all your cards on the table, and don't work on every opportunity you're given simply because you see dollar signs and you see an opportunity to make money. Opportunities should be assessed and only taken advantage of and and followed through as a supplier, if you, as the supplier and the company that you represent as the supplier, can add value in that opportunity. I mean, it's pointless getting an opportunity where the customer advises you he's paying too much, and he just wants a cheaper price. Those kind of opportunities I tend to walk away from. Whereas if a customer comes to me and says, look, I'm not too hassled about the price, but my problem is I'm not invoicing as much as I could be. I'm not producing as many components as I should be producing in a month. That's the kind of opportunity I'm prepared to look at, because it's those opportunities where when you're able to offer a solution where your solution allows that particular customer to produce more and invoice more, that's when he starts seeing the value you're adding. That's when you start building credibility. You don't build credibility by the customer coming to you and saying, listen, I'm paying so much for a product, can you get it to me cheaper? Of course you can, but would you want to do that? I mean, the guy might end up paying a lot less for the product, but buying a certain percentage more. Have you saved him money? No. Have you supplied him something that he's asked for? Yes. When he finds out he's paying more, or rather he's buying more at a lower price for the same commodity, you lose credibility with him. And I can't understand why people in sales environments, that's all they want to do. They just want to chase a sale. I mean, I've got people that tell me they supply the customer what he wants. How does the customer know what he wants? How does the customer know what's the best if he hasn't got access to all the different technology that the supplier has? I mean, yeah, it's for me it's incredible how sales reps, and by and large, we're probably not sales reps anymore. We're more order takers. I'll never forget, we had a situation with a customer where our company was supplying them with a threading insert, an insert that cuts threads. But in our industry, people will know about full form threads and open profile threads. An open profile thread is a very much a jack of all trades product that will do a range of threads. And this particular end user was doing a thread for an automotive component, who the brand shall remain nameless, but it was a component that was in the braking system of a vehicle, and we were supplying him the specific full form thread that generated the thread and gave him a perfect thread at a competitive price and good yield in terms of number of components per edge. And a rival competitor offered the same company open profile threading insert, which we also do, but in this particular application, an open profile was not the right insert. The full form insert was the right insert, but the open profile was cheaper. So the company that was supporting us came to me and asked me, can I supply them an open profile? And I said, yes, I can, but it's not the right tool for the job. But they wanted a quote. So we quoted them, and obviously it was cheaper. And then they wanted to buy these inserts rather than the more expensive full form inserts. And I refused to supply to them. And they were adamant, and they were extremely angry with me. And I said, look, this is a component that's in the automotive, it's in the vehicle, in the braking system vehicle, and it's a safety critical item in a vehicle. And I don't want to be the one supplying you a second grade product, which I can supply you, and that particular thread fails whilst the car's on the highway or on the roads, in the public road, and it creates an accident. And do you really want to have that on your conscience? And can you imagine what the automotive company who you're supplying these parts to is going to do with you if one of your parts fails as a result of a poor thread that failed in operation? And I got respect for that, but how many guys would have just relented to the customer's demands that they wanted a cheaper insert and not considered all the possible negative consequences as a result of supplying that cheaper insert? And there's just so many things that one must think of. And I can honestly say that in the 35 years that I've been selling tools, I don't believe there's many people out there, I don't even believe there's one where that person can say France Gate supplied something to me that benefited him more than it benefited me. And when you can do that, when you can honestly stand up head proud knowing that you've never sold a product that simply benefits you rather than the customer you're selling it to, if that's the case, you're not a salesman. You're not a salesman. You're giving salesmen a bad rap, and I don't know. I rather walk away from opportunities that I have no possible way of improving the situation. I won't take an opportunity simply because it's an opportunity to make a sale, because at the end of the day, my name is far more important than the money I'm going to make as a result of that sale. That's going to turn sour in the end anyway, because at some point the customer's going to work out the product that you're selling him doesn't work, and you've disappeared. And that seems to be a problem with a lot of people. I mean, you have a lot of people that they just want to make a plan. They'll make a plan to make a sale, but does that plan benefit them or does it benefit the customer? And in the end, if you're selling and you're benefiting yourself more than you're benefiting the customer, you're not going to be in sales for long. Or if you are, you're going to be a fly-by-night guy who's not going to have a good reputation, and your credibility is going to go down the tubes. And I don't want to have that kind of reputation. My reputation and my integrity is far too important for me to destroy it with some poor business transactions. Business transactions that don't really benefit either of the parties. There's always a willing buyer and there's a willing seller. The willing seller must always address the willing buyer's needs. The willing buyer must seek willing sellers who will address those needs. So yeah, anyway, that's my rant for the day. I'm close to seeing my grandson. It's going to be a lovely weekend, Saturday morning, and I will have had some time with my rider. I can't wait. Enjoy the weekend. Chat soon. Cheers.